Alright, let's button this thing up so we can move on. Remember, there's a wire, actually two wires, that one and that one, that were chewed up by mice that I want to address before we put all the heat shields back on. And I think we can pull those off, and that wire is obviously still carrying a spark because we can run it, but I don't want to leave them unprotected like that. So that wire comes over here to this coil. So let's pop. Take that off. What I think I'm going to do is just wrap that in some splice tape. You know what? Let's see if we have any shrink wrap. Okay, so I don't have any shrink wrap or heat shrink that's small enough to go on this, so I feel pretty confident in just wrapping this with electrical tape. And that will that will protect that wire from grounding out. And hopefully there's no more
mice.
Yeah, some mice that crawl in here. You want to show the viewers what you found out in our woods, Everett?
Yeah.
You come stick it over here. Look at this. Well, to be fair, he didn't find the stick or the twine, but he found this arrowhead behind the house.
Yeah, but then I found the stick. I'm like, okay, let's see what I can do.
What are you going to go kill with that thing?
I'm going to wait and see.
You going to wait and see?
Yeah, maybe we'll not kill it, but maybe we'll do some damage to it.
It would do some damage.
Yeah, to not kill it. It might spike some blood, but if it doesn't spike blood, this thing is lost forever. You know, if I hit a deer and it doesn't spike blood, it might be a little lost.
I bet some Indian was pretty sad to lose that, Everett.
But but he can always make another one. But yeah.
He probably made a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. Every Indian must made one.
Okay, so that's wrapped pretty good. I'm happy with that. And now this one, that wire is also damaged down there.
That mouse did a lot of damage.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Where's that bad boy go? Looks like I can probably just reach in here and wrap it where it's sitting. Because that goes down to the carburetor. Let's just get in there.
Can I sit on the lawnmower?
You may sit on there.
So, I can, but there's not chalk all over it. And I wouldn't have said it.
Someone put chalk over it, didn't they, Everett?
I think we had a babysitter over, and I think it was Mel and Max. Because they were playing with chalk.
Okay, so that one, let's see if we can get you to see it. That one's protected too. Again, we just don't want them to those wires to get pushed around and then ground back out on the block, and then we'll have problems. So let's fish this guy back through.
I hope no more mice will fake to come in here. Daddy, why don't he put mouse traps around it?
It's probably out in his barn.
He did have mouse traps himself. Dave wouldn't want to go in there. Daddy, did he tell him a joke about our Franken mower?
What's the joke about our Franken mower?
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know.
Is there a joke about our mower?
Yeah, you said that was. You told him it.
Alright, let's see if we can get this guy back on that tab. There, that's all the way on.
Here I go.
Button this thing back up. This is our heat shield for our muffler.
For the muffler.
For the muffler.
Daddy, one these things.
Well, I don't want the rock smashed on my head.
Then what?
Is there any other option?
No.
There's no other option?
Yeah. There's no other option. Daddy, then what one? What one, Daddy? Rock these guys on the head or not, or we in the family? What one, Dad? What one? What one?
What? Okay, what are my options?
Okay, leave the house or get a rock or me smashing a rock on your head.
Oh boy.
That's one.
Leave the house and get a rock smashed on my head?
Yeah, me smashing a rock on your head or you leave the house.
I choose the rock on my head. Goodness, is this where this goes? Okay, it's going better now.
Daddy, what one?
I choose the rock on the head.
Okay, and I'll smash it so hard that I'll blow up your brain. And then you want me maybe had to fix you. And then you want me I'm gonna smash it.
All right, before we call this a wrap, let's pull this deck off and make sure the blades are good and the belts look good under here. It seems a little stiff. Let's take some weed whacker line here. And I suggest, excuse me, kitty cat. Yes, Max? You want a hammer too?
Yeah.
Ah, we got it. If you use this method when you pull stuff that's hard to get a good hand on, make sure you try a glove, because remember, this weed whacking cord is for cutting weeds and cutting hands. All right, now we can raise those arms back up. Make sure the deck stays on the ground. Let's see if we can wiggle this out now. There's a tensioner pulley underneath there that was catching on this guy and then that guy. Probably would have been better to pull it out that way, but let's flip it over. Little buddy's happy with a hammer now. But you can tell this guy sat a while, but the belt wants to keep its shape, and these pulleys, sheaves, are quite rusted, so I don't think it's been ran in a long time, but they seem to spin pretty free. But we're gonna need a new belt. So it's got molten blades on it. You can tell that because they ramp up like that. That's pulls the grass up, all the stuff that you've cut, and it pulls it up to get cut again, and it's supposed to keep chopping the grass while your blades are over it. So let's sharpen these up. Really interesting blades, how they drop down like that and then come up again. Pretty cool. All right, sharpen these up and put them back on. Make sure you got your safety glasses and your earplugs. Here's a bonus. I'm guessing this deck didn't come like this. It's a feature, not a fault. Obviously this got rusted out, or it was rammed into enough things that it blew a hole in it. And I noticed there's a hole down here as well on the exit chute, but we'll have to see once we get that other blade on if we can bend up a chunk of metal to put on there and weld it to kind of seal that up. Going back to this big gaping hole in the middle. It looks like this deck was stamped to come out right here. I don't know. We should. I don't know if we should weld a plate on the bottom side here, or see if we can weld one on the top. So it looks like the previous owner, these are pop rivets. On the other side there's like a chunk of sheet metal that I think they pop riveted on just to keep stuff from blowing up on the top side of the deck. But I don't have any scrap steel, so if we're gonna run out and pick up a belt anyways, if I pick up a 3-inch wide, maybe a 1/16 or an 1/18 thick piece of bar that we can just bend over this and then weld around it as best we can, that's going to be a better setup. So let's flip it over, get the belt off so we can take that into town. Alright, we got the deck facing the right way now. You can see this was some sheet metal that they riveted on. The only flat steel I have is 2-inch.
This is so easy to do, right?
Make sure you cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. Oh. I wonder if might have to do 2 pieces. Put one here and one here. And this isn't, and this is just to add to the life of the deck. We're not, it's obviously very rusted out. But I'm thinking if we put something on top here, that's going to be our best bet. So. Do 2 10-inch pieces. Got some some rusty 6010. Should do the trick. Hey, come closer. You see that? It's called penetration. Well, not bad for a bunch of rusty rod and a Harbor Freight welder. We'll slap some paint on here, and we can move on.
How you gonna paint that?
Spray paint. Right, let's go. Caroline.
Yes.
This is called polishing a turd.
Polishing a turd.
If you went out to the chicken coop and got chicken poop and you polished it up and made it really nice, what would it still be at the end of the day?
Poop.
It would still be poop.
I can see that balloon.
Yeah, what heavy ones? We did some primer and now we're doing enamel paint. Resistance to gas and oil.
But it's still oil.
In case anything from that silly lawnmower drips onto the deck, we'll be covered. But I don't think we need to worry about that because we rebuilt that engine like a genius.
Are you sure you are?
Yeah. Okay, so we do have one more hole near the chute of the deck. So let's flip this thing over and weld a patch on that hole as well. Okay, so this hole's blowing out this way, so if we're going to lay a piece of metal in there, we're going to have to bend that back in. I'm thinking if our scrap metal is 2 inches wide, which will cover the hole, we probably want a 2-inch by 2-inch piece. I'm gonna go a little bit bigger than 2 inches, so we're gonna, when we bend it, we'll lose a little bit. All right, now let's put a 90-degree bend in this. We'll see if we can hammer it over. see how we did. Watch out, kitty. This is hot. I don't know how much welding footage you guys are gonna see, but that Harbor Freight welder, that one, Chicago Electric welder, is garbage. I'm sure their new Vulcan brands and all that is pretty good, but me and all my brother-in-laws went in on that welder, and it doesn't hold an arc very long, and it makes it very difficult. And I've been a welder in a former life, and it's really hard to weld with that guy. Make sure I get the spot that we ground it off for a good ground for the welder. But alright, that's all the patches we had to do on this. We can throw the belt on now and put the deck back together. Alright, so I got a new belt at the store as well. This is a 5/8 belt by 83 inches long. Matched up with a part number. Before we slide this deck back under, I want to check this. There's a tensioner arm right here with a pulley on it. It doesn't feel like that bearing's bad at all, so I'm good to shove this back under. I'm gonna get this front bar in. What I mean by getting this front bar in, this tray here with the hooks on it is mounted to your deck, and this bar is adjustable to raise the front edge of the deck up and down. We gotta make sure those got in the grooves. Alright, I don't know how much of this you're gonna see or not, but I'm gonna get this belt around the tensioner, and we want to make sure that it's on the deck spindles, which the back side's not. Oh, rats. Okay. So it's on both spindles. It's on the tensioner. And we want to get it around the PTO up front. Okay. So for me to get these holes to line up on this arm that comes down, I have to pick up the front of the deck, and I'm wondering if I can just hold it there with a 2x4. We got a 2x4 wedged up top. How did these holes line up? Oh, perfect. That's what the trick is. Let's get the other side. I don't think that's seated in all the way. All right, for much grunting, I finally got that pin to seat all the way into that arm. And the trick was just wedging that front up higher, and that allows the back of the deck to shift back further. So, all right, in neutral, choke on, throttle up. Mower deck works. Honestly guys, I think the only thing left to do is go over the tires. This one in the back rear is constantly going soft. We have to check that for a hole. And we'll power wash the thing, and it's winter right now. There's no snow on the ground, but there's nothing really to mow. But, hey, thanks for hanging out in the shop. It's always a pleasure. If this video helped you at all or you enjoyed it, hit like, consider subscribing. Wow! It's been a long day ever. Should we call it quits? No? You want to stay out here and keep working?